Hello and welcome. I'm Polly, the owner and creator behind Polly Handmade Decor. First of all, I want to wish you a blessed and happy Easter. I hope you're having a wonderful time with your loved ones. In today's creative session, we're going to work on a glass container. I've been playing along this week with this easy technique that I want to share with you today. Let me change my cameras. That's better. So this is a plastic container and I done some decoupage, some stamping here, and I've created the antique effect with more stamping. This is an idea that I got from Pinterest, and I said I'm gonna try it and share it with you so you can have a simple way to create a distressed project. This is another one. It's like a tiny bucket that I found so sweet. So I done the same thing, decoupage and the stamping all around. So there's like this writing, like vintage writing, and then on top of that I created the distress effect with the stamps, and then some rust effect on top, just a few spots. And also I worked with the rust effect on this bottle. It has some iodine stamps here, some distressing, but this kind of distressing is with paint and a spatula. And on top of that, I've created the rust effect, which in my head, this is what it makes sense to me when something is getting all rust. So yeah, these are the techniques we're going to play with today. And as usual, I'm going to show you last week's project. This is how the little house wall sign looks now. So I just put the antique queen gel on top, and then I glue the Home Sweet Home sign. This is last week. If you want to watch the replay, it's already available in my YouTube channel. How we created this one last week with the crackle effect. Okay, so I'm gonna put these things aside to start. Today we're gonna play with this glass container, and to try to do something similar, I chose this decoupage serviette just to make something different, not just the red roses. Let me see. Let me tear this part. So from one serviette you have like 4 or more projects. So let me just cut this, put this for other projects aside. Okay, so you choose the front side of your project and start playing with the serviette. How is it, where you're gonna place it? I think I'm gonna work with this part here and start tearing my serviette. See, try not to preserve the other parts of the serviette so you can use it for a different project. If you can, don't stress about it. Just we need to make sure that we use our materials in optimal way. So I think this will go here. I will just tear this part also. This is here on top. And let's see how it looks. I've painted this already with chalk paint because this is glass. So I used chalk paint on it. I used Rust-Oleum in classic white. So if you want to paint glass, you need to use some sort of primer or a chalk paint or a multi-purpose paint. So this is already paint, so we can start immediately. Oh, so let me have a look again. I think it will go like this. I try to get as close as I can to the design in the serviette. And after that, let me see, how is it going to look? Not bad. I think I will turn this. It doesn't look too balanced to me. Try to put it in the center, a little bit down, because we're going to play with some stamps on the top. Otherwise I will put it like this, but in this case we're trying to follow this design that I've done previously. I hope you can see it. Okay, so let's keep moving. Now we're going to get rid of the 2 layers the bottom layers of the serviette. You just need to work with the first one, okay? And as usual, we're gonna use Mod Podge. Put here a soft bristle paintbrush, which I put in water. Then I get rid of the excess water and start gluing it onto my surface here. So this is how I want it to go, and then apply the Mod Podge. And from the center out, I start pressing down to glue my decoupage serviette. making sure that you stretch it so there's no wrinkles on it. I'm gonna do the second half here. I will lift it a little bit up so I can avoid having air bubbles, and with more product on top I will just finish gluing my serviette. Like this. As long as you have product on your paintbrush, you can manipulate your serviette with no problems. Don't overdo it or we'll start tearing apart. There you go. Have tiny wrinkles. Yeah. I'm sorry, I think I'm out of camera. There you go. So now I'm going to, you put your paintbrush in water immediately and we're going to start drying. I see some wrinkles here. Let me see if I can fix it with water. Because you have a curved surface, sometimes it's better to cut along for it to adhere properly. That looks much better to me. Yes, all done. Okay, let's try now. In a downward motion, we're going to get rid of the serviette that we don't need. I didn't want to go up to this at the end. That's why I didn't glue it here, but I just wanted to go until here. Let's see. So we're going on the side to side, or in a downward motion. It will come off. That's better. I didn't want to go up to the very end, so I'm just gonna get rid of this. Okay. These parts here, I will just put a little bit more of glue on top, and that's it. Where's that? Okay. So it looks more natural to me, and it doesn't look like a straight line, which it wouldn't look. It will natural, yeah, that's the word. Like, that's why I wanted to just go up to here, not up to down here, the very bottom of it. That's it. Okay. Let's make sure that everything is completely adhered. Okay, I'm gonna try again. What's this? What's that noise? Okay. This is what we have at the moment. We just done the decoupage part. This is a lovely serviette. Let me try. Okay, now we're going to choose our stamps. Put this here, and let's choose. We need to find a stamp to position at the top, one at the bottom, and a few just on the sides. So to make this composition, I have this Okay, that this one here looks nice. Let's put it that side. Or could be this one. This one I think is a better option. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put this on top. So this one goes there. And we're gonna place one at the back. Something like this could be. Yep. So these two, and on the sides, so many here. On the sides, just one of those. Okay, so could be these also, but honestly I think the best option for here would be this. This one will go there. So I'm gonna use IOD stamp, the ink, sorry, yeah, ink pad. I put the IOD black paint on it, and then let it to sit, and then it's ready to use. So let's see, how can you see everything that I'm doing? I'm just putting it as it is. I didn't put any stamping block on it because it's a curved surface, and I wanted to adapt that shape. Make sure that I have all the ink in my, let me see that. I need to straight. There you go. One hand is always on top so we don't shift the stamp. And make sure that all the letters here are making contact with the bottle. Yep. Pardon me. And now we let it dry. Now we need to clean a stamp immediately. And put it back. This one goes here. And now I'm gonna do the, let me dry first without I get a smudge. Wait. Where is my, it went on the floor. Now we're gonna work on the back. And I'm gonna choose another stamp. I think this one will do. Yeah, it will go here. That might work. Let me get close. Okay. So same procedure, but this time because it's a little bit bigger, I will do it the opposite way. The impact on my stamp. Just clean these parts. Okay. And then we place it on top. Making sure everything makes contact. I don't mind these little smudges here because that's what we're trying to accomplish, a antique look. So yeah, it looks okay to me. Just we need to wait for it to dry. It's an vintage writing, like French ephemera. It's beautiful. It's just it's fantastic. I love it. So now we're going to try to fill out these spaces on the sides. Let me wipe my stamp off. As I always say, this kind of writing reminds me of my grandfather's writing. All these things are so dearest to me. Reminds me of my grandfather, my grandmother. Okay, so for the side, we can use this one. I think this one would be perfect. Let's see. Yeah. And on the other side, something tiny. Okay, let's put on this side this other vintage French ephemera stamp. Let's see what I'm doing. I just put the stamp on the ink pad and I'm just tapping to get the ink on the whole design here. You can just clean the excess ink and then you apply it. It can be just here. So pretty. There you go. See? I don't know if it's focusing. It's just some writing that you wait. It says Paris. It's like the postage stamps. And it's just adding to the composition. Here I will just put something very, but let me just try this. I don't want to make a big smudge. Of course, too hot. Well, while this one is drying, we're gonna look for another stamp to put on the other side. Let me clean my stamp. Especially with these permanent inks, you need to make sure that you wipe it clean every time. Okay, so this one goes here, and I will probably do something like, maybe something like this postage thing on the other side. Maybe like this. How is this? I think I will put it just here, just there. So again, stamp. My stamp is on my ink pad. I'm tapping to get all the ink on the stamp, and then position it on my surface like this. There you go. Let me see. So this is like the first layer of the composition. This is like the main focal point. And on top of this here is my finger is black, I think. That's okay. All right, let me just put the lid on my ink pad, put it away. Clean my stamp. And also my fingers, otherwise you will end up with your fingerprints all over your container here. So this is done. Put it aside. And this is what I want to show you. Okay, let me see if my heat gun is working now. Hopefully it's not, of course. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to work with some distress, more stamps. This one is from IOD. The name, oh, I wish I could remember the name. I think it's like this. I will look for the name. I don't remember at the moment, sorry, but is just all this crackling and the crackle, big crackle, small crackle, all these distressing stamps. So you can simulate that something is very aged antique with stamps. It's like an easy way. I just want to make sure that this is dry. And we're going to use it the same pen, but I want to make sure that it's dry already, not much. Let's do something else, okay? While this one is drying, I'm gonna do this at the end. I'm going to create some spots as well with my paint. So now I'm going to create some spots with paint. Where's my paint? Is here. This is burnt umber. So we're going to create some aging spots too. I call it beauty spots. We don't need much, just a little bit. There we go. Like my hand. And also a spatula. So to get the paint, get rid of the excess paint, and for example here, you might simulate some distress points. You can go as much as you want, but don't overdo it. You can also change directions. Now it's taking character, like an object with some history, something that's been around for a long time. For example, in these blank spaces and around the top here. Something that makes sense, like you're telling a story, like a precious object that has a story to tell. That's how I see it, and that's how I start creating. And if there's something you don't like with water, just get rid of it. So look, don't forget to do it on the same decoupage also, because it wouldn't make sense that everything is getting old but the image. So you have to distress if you want to, of course. It depends of your taste, but to me it wouldn't make sense if this one is not getting old and dirty. Hola mami. Hola mami, gracias. Sí, estoy ahí creando. Happy Easter. Felices Pascuas, mami. ¿Te gusta lo que estoy haciendo? Gracias, un besito. Te quiero mucho, ma. Okay, where I was, yes, I was distressing the decoupage also. So it looks like an old container. All right. All of these have to dry before we're going on the top layer with the stamps. If you want to stop there, fantastic. It depends on you. Depends on how you want to decorate your glass jar here. I will do a few spots because in the ones that I have already done, I went on top of the stamps with my aging, my crackle stamps on top of everything, so it looked that the paint just, you see, in this case I use pink, the base, then I use the white and the black paint on top, so it looks like it's distressing the different colors. It was painted many times, sorry. So that's one. This is the second one. They're not gonna look exactly the same, never. And this is the good thing of the handmade things. They're all unique in their own ways. So yep. So in this case, I might use the crackle that I haven't used in the other ones. Let's use the crackle. Put some here. Let's create together. Okay, so let's put some crackle. I think I don't remember if I have to. I think this is the first time I'm gonna use this stamp, so I have to condition it with some sanding what do you call this? It's not a block, sanding paper. So let me condition it first so it's ready to do its job. So that'll do. There you go. So I'm going to do the cracking just here or there. Not thinking much, just where I think it might happen. Everything add to the design. Okay. Wipe this off. And then I might use this one here. This might go on top of everything. Get rid of this. Okay. And I will go on top in any direction. Let's see, probably like this. You might think that it looked like a mess, but it's not. That is how it's supposed to look. Let me get another part of the stamp. Just put it on top. These little points here. Just like this. Okay. Wipe my stamp. Close this. Okay. I'm just going to pass a wet paper or cloth and make this less intense. That's why it's important that the first layers are completely dry. So we're just working on the top layer here. And it looks like something that is being scratched and distressed for the time and the use. So that's that. That is that part. Another thing that I like to do, but it has to dry. Let me see. Let's hope that this one is working. Another thing that I like to do is to sand the project to unify everything. Okay, so when you sand it, everything will become like a one part of everything. So you sand it, including the decoupage. It's in the whole, no, it's just very light hand, very light. Otherwise you will creating a real distress with just simulating or not simulating, sorry, emulating a distressing technique here with the stamps. Otherwise you will peel the paint that will go into the glass underneath. So it's very light hand, like a feather hand. Okay, so now it really looks more like an antique container. After that, we need to make it more cohesive. You can stop there if you want to, but to me it's like my work is not done yet. To me it doesn't look complete. And also don't forget about the bottom. We need to work on the bottom too, because especially because it's sitting on the bottom, this one is the part that it gets more distressed. Okay, in like an hour, it's almost an hour, so I need to have it. I'm gonna use the Dixie Belle Grunge glaze. I like this because it's quite very soft, it's very subtle. So I'm gonna use this all over with my paintbrush here. Can you see? We're gonna start applying it here. You can probably put the varnish before applying this step, so you can control how dark you want it. But I don't have the time to put the varnish, but it would be better if it's the first time you're doing this to use the varnish on top, so you can wipe back or wipe off as much as you want to. And to avoid that step, that's why I chose this color, because I know it's quite subtle and I'm using water to dilute it. All right, just tiny tricks. This helps also to unify the whole project. You just have to be quick for not getting some smudges, which also will add to the project, but it depends the what you want to achieve, with kind of more subtle or more intense this part. It depends on your taste. See, so to me it's so pretty. I like this one. It's very light, but you can see that it's giving it like a more warm color to that. If you compare this white to this one, you see what I mean? It really makes a difference, and it really makes like an antique. Just need to, you can wipe it off, you know, the excess, or just because it's just so subtle, I will just leave it as it is. I just need to wait for it to dry. Okay, let me close this. And let's hope that my heat gun is working. Oh, yes, it is. Thank God. So, one more thing. Here you can just go for the rust effect in some areas, or as much as you want, or just in a few areas, like here, like more subtle. What I'll do is I will just this one is antique queen gel in the color brown. This is from Penta with some water on it, so it's diluted already. What I'll do with this is I'm going to accentuate some spots. For example here. And then you wipe it back a little bit. You can totally avoid this step if you don't like it, but to me it completes the work. Can wipe off as much as you want. Just leave it there. Just dabbing to make it like, again, to make it look like a natural process of aging. I will just do that there and at the bottom here, including this part. That I'm not going to do this on camera because it's been an hour already, and I don't want to make it too long for you. It looks so pretty. A little bit on the top. And to me that will complete the job. And my work is done. Okay. It all adds to it. I might leave it as it is. Okay. And as I said, you can, if you want, you can go with some rust effect on it in a few spots. pots or just leave it as it is. Like I did with this one. Here is just very similar to this one. I just used the crackle stamp that I didn't use here, but I used the scratching thing like we've done with this one. Let me get my hand out so you can. So yeah, there you go. A vintage container in an hour. It looks that have like, I don't know, many years around. It's been used and loved, and now it's a object with soul, with character, with a story behind. That is the things that I love to do, and I hope you like it too. So that's all that I have for you this week, and hopefully I'll see you next one. Thank you for today, and bye bye.